And I'm like, I never seen a person look like Midnight. I never seen somebody look like Midnight. I was like, yo, we some Midnight motherfuckers.
Really? Is that so
Yo, man, that shit is funny.
disrespectful?
Oh my god, is it though? Like I feel like I'm speaking to you.
I look like midnight? What does that mean?
Like it look like it's time for bed, nigga. What the fuck you mean? Like we both need to go to sleep. I'm the only one that look like I need to go to sleep. It's just me.
I tried not to make sure I didn't look like I needed to go to sleep. It didn't work.
I
That's what
know
you're trying to
you.
tell me.
I know you need to go to sleep. It's different.
I mean, that's different. You can hear it in my voice.
That too. Out here sounding like Rosalia or something. You need a little accent.
Yo, I cannot.
Little Rosalia. Hey Rosalia.
Rosalia.
See? That's what you sound like.
Rosalia.
Rosalia.
That's one hell of a name.
I used to have a crush on a girl in high school named Rosalia.
Oh, that's why you chose it. Okay. I understand
No,
now.
I actually it was wild random. I was gonna say Rose, and I was gonna say Rosa. I didn't even sound like a Rosa, and I knew Rose was like demi middle name. I was like, I don't want to say that. But then when I heard Rosalia, I was like,
It's fitting.
yep. Every time you get sick, there's gonna be a new nickname.
Rosalia. Okay.
Yeah.
People always want to give me nicknames when I have moods. So now I'm tired. I'm Rosalia. When I'm mad, I'm Wasabi Mommy.
Wasabi Mommy. I remember that one. That was a good one. That was definitely a good one. Wasabi
That
Mommy.
mother effer.
Wasabi Mommy. That's funny. All right, let me
Oh,
say this real quick.
did you start Japanese yet? Or am I gonna be the one doing all the
No, I
translate?
told you in December.
Okay, all right.
You're not December yet. I'm trying to get a couple. I'm actually going to commit to one whole lesson per day. I don't do that. I usually just do, one of the modules in the lesson per day just to get
Mhm.
more credit. But I'm like, I'm not saying that I have a lot of free time, but I'm trying to manage it so that I walk a little bit more. And I'm like, during these walks, I can bust out a lesson, or at least half of one in the day, half in the night. You know what I mean? That's kind of my objective with that.
Devon Deska?
Devon, this guy.
Yes, like, are you Devon?
So you started it already. I'm like, that
I
should sound like.
didn't.
Oh man, it's funny because Amina, I said to both of you guys in different times, like you guys have the personalities to actually um, learn a new language. I know that might sound weird, but I felt like you guys had the personalities for it. I can't explain it. There's something about how your personalities are that makes it like easier for you to like learn a new language at an advanced age, like you're not like a teenager or a child. And it makes a difference. You hit 30, it's harder to learn new shit. Like it's a scientific fact. Like don't hit me over the head for it. But
Mm-hmm. At my
hey,
advanced age.
yeah, I'm more advanced than you, nigga. What you mean?
And we see what that shit is doing. Jesus
What
Christ.
you mean? Shit, yeah, I told you. You know what happened? My birthday hit. My warranty was like, the Russians were calling me on the phone. Hey, Yvonne, your warranty is up. You hit 40. I was like, what you mean warranty? Gout. Oh, wait.
He said,
High
they
blood
said
pressure.
your brake
Boom.
light is
Oh, wait.
on
High
when
blood pressure. Yo, she was crazy. She was crazy.
if you even look at salt.
Whoa. Yo, should be tasting crazy. I'd be like, yo, nah, it's too much adobo, my nigga. It's too much adobo. It'd be like, why you complaining? It shit tastes good. Nah, I gotta water this shit down. Somebody made me a
Bro,
post.
you need to be buying the adobo with no salt in it.
Yeah, there's not adobo no more. Fuck you, mean? Shit's Adobe.
It's Adobe. Buy the adobo with no salt in it,
Adobo
please.
with no salt. I bought adobo. What top is that? I think the one of them got no pepper. I think
Yes, one does have no pepper.
that's the red top. I think the blue top is the one with the pepper. I know that from my the days when I had the catering company. My partner, she would say, Yo, you gotta get the one with the blue top. I already added pepper. You don't need no more. Get the one with the red top or whatever the fuck it was. I definitely remember that. But yo,
Hmm.
so when I was 40, check engine light was on. Need to get the brakes fixed. I'm like, yo, what is going on? It took me like 3 months to like really get it together. And then for the summer I was good, ate healthy, worked out. I had a little pitfall when I took the kids away. I was wilding on hamburgers every day. I paid for that shit for like 2 weeks.
Again, I've not heard anything about this trip, but now I found out that you ate a whole bunch of burgers.
Yeah, there you go. One of the best parts for me. The kids had fun. Everybody, so how was it? Kids had fun.
Kids
Oh,
had fun, and I ate burgers.
there's nothing more to discuss. That's it.
I was talking to somebody about that the other day, yesterday. I was like, yeah, one of my coworkers took his kids to Disney World. They went for at least a week. And I was like, see, you don't realize you're getting up at 6 a.m. every day to walk around for 12 hours in the heat
Nah,
and stand in
he was
lines.
different. The heat was different. Like that sun was screaming at you. The humidity was crazy. I had an asthma attack in the park and doubled down on it when I got back to the house. Like, nah, this is different. I had to use my daughter's asthma pump.
Wow.
Then I got yelled at for it. That's another story. That's an offline story.
Dodger Dat said adobo has salt, so don't use salt. But if you do use a pinch, Sazon has salt also. There are people who make
Exactly.
adobos with no salt in it now because
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
taking your peoples out.
Listen, if adobo don't have salt, it's not adobo. They lying to you. Ain't no like what part of the
You
game
can
is that?
add your own salt and make it adobo-y again.
You got Adobe. That's it. Yo, pass me some of that Adobe. Me adobo? Nah, I ain't got no salt. Adobe it is. Here you go. Forgot that shit.
Adobe. I can't.
Yo, Sasson got mad salt in it. So if I use Sasson, I can also use I want to say Adobe. I would also use adobo if it's cooking in something. It can't be a dry cook. It got to be something that I'm using with like
That's making a
water,
gravy. That's going to be juicy.
gravy, something like that. Soak that up because then all that's gonna run off and get into the. And then now you got the. You know what I mean? Ooh, put that on the rice. But if you're doing like chicken or some shit, nah, you can't double down on that. Not at my advanced age. That should make me lightheaded now. They gotta be fucked up. Too much thought. Oh, I gotta sit down. That shit is crazy. Fucking be popping pills and shit, drinking mad water. I gotta get this shit out of my system. Or I gotta prepare to eat salt and shit. Like what else I had today? I had some chips. Them shits are salty. What else I had? Yeah, the turkey meat was mad salty. Yeah, I can't eat this shit tonight. I already have my
Oh,
salt. Salt
yeah.
limit. That's
Quota
it.
met.
Quarter met.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm. Speaking of Dodger that, bro, chicken soup. We gotta have. I ain't have her chicken soup yet. She said her chicken soup was OD bomb. So I gotta, and then somebody vouched for it too on that watched it. He make a bomb ass chicken soup that he only make for me every other fucking year, and I'd be like, "Where my chicken soup, nigga?" So I'd be badgering him. I'm still a little cousin, like, "Yo, give me my chicken soup." So now I want both of y'all chicken soup. You know what I mean? You gotta
That's your
shut
fault.
down.
I had prepared a nice big container of chicken soup for you, but that's
It
when you
wasn't for me.
decided to not come to Brooklyn no more.
You made a big one, and I didn't get it because we didn't communicate, which is probably my fault. I'd take the L on that. However, I didn't. It wasn't for me. If it was for me, I would have showed the fuck up.
It was for you.
No, it wasn't. I don't remember. I don't remember that conversation happening. I need proof.
Yeah, because I made it right after we had the conversation about the soup. That's how I knew I should save you some. And then it was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able
Save
to
me
come to
some
see you.
ain't for me. That's two different things. I'm gonna save you some, and I'm making this for you. That's not the same.
I'm not making anything for you when you won't show your face in my burrow. I will make
So
it
I have
and
in
I
the
will
book.
let you know, hey, I'm making it. You
I
can
have a
come get some if you want or whatever. I'm not going, how am I supposed to do that? I'll be looking crazy out here. What
Nah,
you doing? I'm looking for
invite
Devon. who don't communicate, don't pick up his phone,
Invite
and don't
me.
come to Brooklyn.
Invite me, son. Invite me. Invite me. I'll be there. Anybody come to hear me singing. All right. So today we talking about masculine women and feminine men. Bitch ass niggas. So what was I
Can
gonna
we just
say?
talk how even the term bitch ass niggas is like insulting to women?
Yo, so you want to hear something
It's
funny?
part of the
As I was writing
problem.
my notes. So first of all, I already wrote notes for the women. Not intentionally. I had phone calls. I couldn't do it. And then I had this other thing I had to work on before I actually got on the live with you. So I only got it through the women. But as I was going through them, I started to realize that I didn't like how they described some of the traits for like masculine traits. I was like, wait a minute. Why is that masculine? Why do we identify this toxic behavior as masculinity? So I feel like there's some bullshit on both sides, but there's some shit that's accurate too. So I'll let you take the floor and talk about the dudes and all that, because gotta play opposite day and shit.
What I'm not the one who be throwing this around.
What you mean? No, I'm just meant like in terms of like how we can start the conversation.
Oh, okay,
That was
gotcha.
it. There was no blame.
Oh, okay, I got you. Is this what we living on today? I can't do this. I can't do it. This is the type
Man,
time we get going.
what was on
You
it?
already acting defensive.
You, not me. I that's anything that you was coming at me defensive. I'm being attacked, nigga. Like,
What?
I'm doing one of those. You know how you be mad at your kid and you go to fix their collar and you be like, come here, and they be like,
Do you get mad? Why
right?
you switching for?
Act like I'm about to hit you. I ain't damn hit you. You
Like
know you about
you're
to
making
get hit.
people think I beat you.
Damn well you beat that little nigga. Like,
Oh man, making it hot.
oh,
You should be running from
sometimes
me.
when that happens, in my son, I was just saying how like I ain't really spanked my son in a minute. I did pop him one time, like within the last month. But for school shit, I ain't popping. And the whole school year, and when we was in school, he kind of like did one of these, like, oh shit, and I was like, yeah, you know, you could get in public too, nigga. That's how I felt. Like this don't play, bro. Like just cause these people here don't mean you can't get the smoke.
Oh man.
But anyway, yes. So what you got? I know you say you looked up some stuff.
Um, as far as what we're gonna talk about the basis of it, like we're talking about a shift. Are we talking about the old school masculine, feminine gender roles? Like there's a lot of ways we can go with this right now.
There's a lot. So my expectation of this conversation tonight, I wanted to go over some of the ways that they say women act masculine. I wanted to get your opinion on some of them, and some of them I wanted to challenge because I thought that, like you said, why is this a negative thing, or why is this negative thing attributed to masculinity? So I kind of wanted to go on that because you already know it's bedtime soon, and I've been working since I've been up since I hit the gym at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't stopped going yet. So I'm on 13 hours, and I'm starting to crash out a little bit. You know what I mean? You gotta accommodate for the old man and shit.
Yeah. So it's so weird. I think as well, if you look at the internet, everything could be potentially uh labeled as bitch asses. Uh,
I don't that.
everything. Apparently taking people to Cheesecake Factory.
Lord have mercy.
Um, what else do women? Oh, the sassiness. Are we talking about sassiness? Because I heard that using a straw is sassy. I
That's
heard
nah. They be wilding with stuff like that.
if they ever worked in food service and ever see what happened to them cans, they would start using the straw. Um, Yappy and Brave for masculinity.
Mm.
That's nasty. What else? Well, funny things I heard were sassy. Um, guys who like I don't know, rom-coms, comedies, like not into like hack and slash and horror movies and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, there was so many things. Um, so I guess my issue with it, I would say the most common one I come across is that men who are chatty patties and talk a whole bunch because gossiping is supposed to be a girl thing to do, you know. So when men talk a lot or tell all their business,
That is a
that's one of the things.
when women do
Huh?
that. And I'm not even talking about gossip as like a negative thing, but women sit down to have powwows about certain things more than men do. I feel like men, we're supposed to talk about current events, women, sports, and maybe like money stuff, financial job work, stuff like that. But men typically don't come together and say, "Hey, y'all, this is the thing that I'm working on or whatever." Or
I
I'm
don't
going
think
through
that's
this
fair.
relationship thing with this guy. Like I ain't gonna hold you. I just called one of my best friends. I think I need advice, right? So, because I'm going through something that he's been through before, and I don't know how to handle it. So that probably happens with men one on one, but not we don't get together to talk about Brandon's situation with his girl. It has to be like crazy dramatic. Women would do that. Women would get together to talk about Suzanne's issue with her husband. Like, girl, you better work it out. He ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? We not doing that. We'll go to the bar and be like, "You acting crazy again? Yeah, that's crazy. I'll get my man a beer too." That's the biggest. That's the talk. That's the talk. Niggas event, but it ain't like, yo, man, she be acting wild crazy. I be working 2 jobs. Bitch talking about it's not enough. You know what I mean? Word, man. What you gonna do, son? Like, that be
I
what it
can't
is.
sit there. I feel like there's a spirit but between gossiping where it's not just communicating. You understand? There's a there's a little bit of a a mean girl energy to the word gossiping that's not just getting together in community and communicating and leaning on each other and giving each other advice and providing support because that's what I want from men. I want y'all to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want y'all to lie on your dicks. I don't want you to
Right.
I
That's
don't
great.
want you to spend it you know what I mean? Like I don't know how it looks like for men, but I know with women, it's like, I don't like her outfit. Did you see how she is? She a hoe. Like
Yeah, that shit is corny.
that's mean gossipy energy. Like that's
Yeah,
different from coming
it is.
together. Like I have a problem. I've been struggling. I think we should, rely on each other and communicate and try to support each other in ways that we can and be family. That's different. I like
Niggas ain't
that.
doing
I
that.
want that for everyone. I
Niggas
very
ain't doing
much wish all men to have that.
We not doing
But
that. We not doing
there are men who do that. That is
Yeah.
the revolution of the group chat has made it so you can just pull out your phone and connect
Yeah.
with someone.
I guarantee you get 100 group
But you
chats.
don't pick up your phone. So you can't do that.
So I feel like
You muted the group chat and I saw that. You think you're funny. See? See?
so I feel like if I got you 100 group chats of men, 99.5% of them are not venting about their emotions. Not let me say this in a healthy way. Not in a healthy way.
Even if
99.
it's an unhealthy way.
Nah, that shit matters. Healthy versus unhealthy matters about how you vent your emotions. It matters. It fucking matters. Because then how you vent and how it's being responded to, like that matters. Because if a nigga's venting all crazy, nobody's gonna be like, "Hey, bro, like I really think, like I've been meeting him. I called my cousin for a couple of weeks, like real shit, because he was venting about something, and me and one of my good friends were talking to him about it, and I never followed up with him because I've been going through my own shit, and I wanted to follow up with him because I wanted to be like, yo, bro, like that shit you was talking, like where you feel like you at, like tell me where you at with it, and That doesn't happen in a group chat. Like nobody's gonna go in a group chat. And then listen, I have group. I do group things with men. Pause. And that was wild. So and like so at these events that are all like men, I've challenged people to check into the emotions, or I've challenged people to um look within themselves a little bit more and shit like that. In real talk, niggas have a hard time doing that. So
They
the
have
problem,
I feel like they have a hard time because they literally don't have the tools and the vocabulary. I feel like it's a hard time because it's not a muscle they exercise. I don't feel like it's a hard time because it's not a masculine thing to do.
I think you got it reversed. I think because they feel like it's not a masculine thing to do, they don't have the tools and they don't have the vocabulary or the verbiage to express themselves in a healthy way. So that it becomes defensive and not being accountable.
I saw something from Professor Odie the other day, and he said so much about teaching a man to be masculine is teaching him to be anti-feminine. And in the process,
Yeah.
making women and everything we represent enemies of men. Also cutting you off from a level of emotional intelligence that comes from being in touch with your emotions and being able to express and communicate them. Like that, I feel like that's all the same. Like y'all don't have the tools because it's also taught to, it's not considered an essential part of masculinity to have the tools, but that's not true. The most balanced, the best leaders can sympathize like with the people they lead. And I feel like you being all hard and stoic and you think you're going to be able to connect with a woman long term or connect with your children long term, or you know, or like you're setting yourself up for failure, I feel.
Amen. Amen.
J1 JW23 said depends on someone's upbringing and past traumas that determines whether they develop more masculine or feminine traits. um
I don't disagree with that totally.
I don't agree with it totally. I feel like everyone
I
tends to
agree with
go
it
to
totally.
one extreme or another, um
I
and
do feel like. Go ahead, I'm
because of
sorry.
trauma responses.
I was just going to say that. I feel like some men being feminized, it could be how they were raised with their mom. I believe um, without their dad around, they will pick up on different habits, right? I feel like some women are masculine because they have to be defensive, they have to be competitive, things like that. Um, so I can't say it's the only reason because it also depends on the person's personality. Like some people aren't affected by their surroundings as much as others. Some people are only affected by it, are solely affected by the surroundings. So it's he's not wrong, but I don't think it's I think it's a way more complicated, layered answer.
I don't think it determines whether you're more masculine or feminine. I think it might determine the your trauma response will be a hyper response or a hypo response. Like, so I can see how that could be seen as masculine and feminine, or say like a common trigger warning, a common response to any kind of like sexual trauma is to either be hypersexualized or hyposexualized. We just happen to assign hypersexualism to men
Right.
when hypersexualism in any case can be anything taken to the extreme is sickness. So it's not an inherently masculine thing.
Yeah, I see that. You got anything else?
Um, mm, I feel like, I mean, you're gonna talk about the women, but I feel like as a woman, there aren't women need community because there aren't places where femininity is supported, and so that's why I feel like we're more prone to the talking, the community, the stuff because it's a place where you can be a woman. Um, but in school and work environments, we're competing with men. We are expected to perform the same. We're not given slack or anything, or I don't know how that would even look, but we're expected to be able to perform at the same levels. We're getting the same grades, like, you know what I mean? And then when you enter a workspace for a certain amount of time a day, you have to roll with the punches as if you're a man. If you want a promotion, if you're competing, if you're trying to get sales, if you're trying to be productive, those are all things that people assign to masculinity and become part of performing in patriarchy. And so, and then to come home and you're doing the unpaid labor, half of it, um, and organizing and planning and taking care of the kids and cleaning and cooking and running a household and da, 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 and it can feel like you don't ever get to turn it off.
Mm. I feel that way in the opposite too. I feel like that way about men.
How you feel that way?
I feel like men, we can't turn off the I'm a man shit and then like live and kind of be soft, right? A soft masculine man, right? Um, so I was having a conversation with a woman maybe a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling her like, I don't mind being tough for you, but I don't want to be tough when I'm home. Like, I don't want to be tough when I'm in the house. I don't want to be tough. I'm not going to be a femme. I'm not going to be a sucker, but I don't want to have to be tough. I want to be in this space right here, laying on you, caressing you, loving on you. That's still masculine. I'm still holding you in my arms, but there's no toughness to it. There's a softness to it. It makes
Mm-hmm.
you feel more home. And she said, "No, nigga, I want my man to live in the soft life. I don't want a man to be tough all the time when he around me. Be tough when you need to be." And then I brought up the parable that says, it's better to have a warrior in the garden than the gardener in the war.
Yeah.
And let me be in the garden. Let me give me my seeds, bitch. Like, let me plant some shit. Let me have my apron on and doing my shit. Like, I did that. I did the crazy stuff. That's how I got here. Tough men make easy lives. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they
And
said the samurai in the garden still has his sword. So
all the time. But he's still
yeah,
in the garden.
yeah.
Because
Doing
he's
garden.
the
This
war.
is garden time right now.
Right, that's it. Let me
Yeah.
get these seeds in this motherfucker. And I feel like that's a part of masculinity that women don't conceptualize because they only see it as that hard paused man, that the guy got to do everything, the guy who doesn't really communicate, the guy that has to work all the time, the guy that's got to go get it, the guy that doesn't cry. It's like, nah, I want to just be me.
Yeah. I mean, that's us getting away from traditional roles when women couldn't do it. Like women weren't allowed to earn property not that long ago. Like it was surprisingly recent. Like right before the civil rights movement, women got
Yeah,
the right
I had,
to
like,
own their own, open their own bank account without a husband.
yeah, like my
Like,
grandmother was alive for that, like that. It's like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, that's great.
I didn't realize my mom, who was born in 1949, could not have a bank account.
Not without a man present.
Probably why she got married at 18.
That was not
But
that. That was
like,
not that.
so, like stuff like times are changing. We still need each other. We just don't need each other in the same capacities that we need each other before.
I don't agree with that. I feel like we need each other more in them same capacities.
I literally don't need you to sign a deed for a house for me.
I'm thinking man, woman. I'm not talking about societal. That shit is stupid.
Okay.
I'm talking about way beyond that.
Okay.
Man,
Expand.
man, woman, spirituality, feminine, masculine, the opposites are supposed to attract the yin and the yang. Like, that's what I mean. Oh, wait, speaking of yin and yang, did you see that oh man, it's like some molecule that are like opposites, and when you start to spin them a certain way, they actually create the yin and yang sign.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh man, I wish I could be more specific on it. It was like, see, they always know. They always know. Our ancestors always know. That yin and yang sign been around forever. History itself. And it comes from like how I say molecules, but I could mean like atoms or whatever, and how they
Yeah,
interact with one another. And how if you start to vibrate by certain frequencies, they interact in a certain way, and when you see them interact, they look like a yin yang sign.
that's
Crazy.
cool. Let's
Amazing.
find out that's I think that throws it into the category of what do they call it? Like ancient shapes,
Oh,
like fractals and stuff like that.
sacred geometry.
Yeah, there we go.
Hmm. Um, so let me do this thing real quick with the men's, with the women. So they said women who appear to be emasculated in a relationship are controlling. They want to take charge too much, which I agree with that, but I don't like how they worded it. And I've seen it in a couple of articles that I read. I didn't like how they worded it because I feel like strong feminine women also take charge because I believe the man is the head of the family, but the woman's the head of the household. And the woman's like, this is what we're about to do, this is what the kids are about to do. That's her job to do that. But I did understand what they meant, and I'm gonna use the controlling to also be um can't receive help. There are a lot of women who can't receive help. They have what's called the superwoman complex, and they feel like they have to do too much. And a lot of black women suffer from that. I feel like you were on something that I've done when we talked about this before. And a superwoman syndrome that women have, they feel, especially black women, they feel like they have to do everything, especially if they grew up in a single parent household. And what happens is either those women become feminized in such a way or want to be feminized in such a way that they don't want to, it makes them lazy. They don't want to do anything. I'm not doing anything. I have a man now. Or they resist the help and because they don't feel like anyone is ever going to do it the way they can, or they may not trust anybody to do it at all because they've seen their mom be let down and they've been let down. So I believe, and again, a lot of this is trauma response. I believe that women who always want to take charge of something, and I've seen women like this, and I've had to tell women that I've dated, women that I'm family members with, women that I just know, hey, you got to chill out. I got this. Sit down. And I hate to say it, I hate this in general. This is we gotta have another conversation. But I hate women that like to be checked. Like they feel like if my man don't check me, like no, you're crazy. But some women had to have a conversation for me and me to be really stern, like use daddy voice and be like, hey, I got it. You gotta relax. Like the world is not gonna crumble because you're not doing this thing. Learn how to just be for a second. And that might be hard for a woman to do. And I feel like that's the example. So I couldn't say just take charge too much of being controlling because I just feel like that's the thing that some people are. But when you couple it with they can't accept help, now I feel like it makes more sense. Always in
I
competition.
feel like
Okay, I know you answer.
that's also a trauma response where you can't make mistakes. And because you can't make mistakes, people around you can't make mistakes. You can't delegate anything to anyone because they're not going to do it right. You know what I mean? All right, what if somebody messes up dinner? It's not the end of the world, but back in the day or the way you were raised, it was. You know
Because
what
you
I mean?
for another meal.
Exactly. Stuff like that. But if money wasn't an option or you had other food, then yeah, if someone messed up dinner, it's all right, we'll order pizza instead.
Exactly.
And we're still operating sometimes from those places of lack and fear because also you could get your ass beat. Um
That chicken not thawed out? What? Why does meat still cold? I told you to take it out when you got home. I knew you would take it out when you get home. My
even with that. All right, it's not defrosted. We can order pizza. Like
but
pizza is the answer to everything, but it's just it's tied to like these little things that we do tend to be a little deeper than that, you know what I mean?
I think most of
So
it is sure.
like need to be controlling is about feeling safe.
Boy. I don't want to get into this too much, but there was a woman who said, or it was a man or a woman, I can't remember. But I know the topic of the conversation was All this shit that you see women do is because a woman wants to feel safe. If a woman wants a man to be financially stable because she wants to feel financially stable, she wants a man to be strong because she wants to feel like she's physically protected. And he like went over all these things that seem toxic, and he was like, that when it's extreme, it's probably a trauma response of not feeling safe. But everything a woman complains about is because she don't feel safe. And trust me, I had a long conversation about that over the goddamn weekend. But another topic for another day.
Same here. No, I didn't update you on or the latest developments, but
Yeah, there's a few.
like bottom line, I don't feel safe with you. I'm sorry, sir.
That means something. Yes. So the other one is always a competition. And I always bring up that story. That lawyer I dated, this is over a decade ago, but I dated this lawyer, and everything was a goddamn competition. And then I met a few women like that, like in corporate environments, and I was just like, don't bring that home. I understand it. I respect a competitive woman. Don't be competitive with me about bullshit. Be competitive with me about something. If we playing Uno, like I was playing cards with somebody a few weeks ago, I ain't gonna front. The first few games, she was busting my ass. She was talking mega shit. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was fake turned on. But at the same time, I was
But you're
like,
fighting.
right, but it was in that context, and I never experienced competitiveness outside of that,
Yeah.
and I love that. But in that game, I didn't like it because it reminded me of me, and I was just like, oh, I can't lose no more. And I didn't lose again. I didn't lose again. I didn't talk shit till I was up. You know what I mean? You know me. I don't talk, but when I was up, you gonna get this fucking
I'll tell
this like
people that
crazy.
I'm gonna talk shit even while I'm losing. I'm gonna talk shit.
I'm with it. This that now here's one that all right. So I said can't receive help. Has challenges in their personal relationships. I see that a lot with some family members that I know that they just can't. They can't. I know some women who can't date men. They want a strong man but can't date him because they're a strong man. Like it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. No strong man wants a strong man to date unless he's gay. Otherwise, if he wants a woman, he don't want this strong man woman. He want a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Overemphasis on achievement and success, hyper independence. So I thought those two things, and I think hyper independence is the same as like um, can't receive help and being controlling. Like hyper independence, I don't want to have to need anybody because once I become interdependent with somebody, not dependent but interdependent with somebody, I now have to trust somebody else, and I haven't seen anything in my life that says people are worth trusting. And that can then mess up, your relationships and stuff like that.
Mm.
But the one thing I did and I did not like that I checked it by accident, but it was like struggle to express emotions. And I don't think that men have a hard, and this is like a masculine thing. I don't think men who are masculine have a hard time expressing their emotions. I think people in general who have a hard time being accepted when they are emotional have a hard time expressing their emotions. I can't I never seen a healthy masculine man have a hard time expressing his emotions in a healthy way. Just haven't seen it. So the fact that they added that as something was like, why is negative expression of emotion automatically tied to masculinity? That I didn't like. I didn't like
I
that
can
at all.
understand that, and I agree with what you said. Like, if you leave a place where, and that's why it's so important for us to let our children talk. Um, if you're in a place where you're shut down or demonized for expressing yourself, then you no longer feel safe. Your communication will break down. Either
Mm,
you bottle things up until you can't, or something else. I feel like I experienced that. One of my main things, if I start to feel like I can't express myself, I go completely silent.
yeah, yeah,
No, I don't have to express anything. I don't have anything to say. I don't have an opinion.
yeah. Oh, the other one was neglecting self care and wellness. That's a masculine thing. You just a bum. The fuck you mean? Like
So
that's just oh, you neglect your self care and wellness. All right, I will say this though. Now here's to the defense of the author. Men do not go to the hospital as much when they're single. We went over that. Not only that, um, and I say this all the time when I deal in insurance and stuff like that. I tell men all the time, like, I mean, men I speak to on a daily basis who's around my age, and they're like, I haven't been to the doctor in 10, 15 years. What? I go to the doctor every time something hurt. I'm preparing for retirement now, nigga. I'm not gonna be limping at 65. Let's fix this shit now. You know what I'm saying? And that niggas be like, yo, I ain't been a doctor in 10 years. So there is something to it. But I don't know. I'm maybe neglecting certain types of self-care and wellness could be like certain parts of your health. But I don't believe that men who are really masculine also don't do that. Like masculinity doesn't equal bum to me. Don't equal savage. Like this nigga just out the gutter.
BL.
Um,
Mm.
you dig what I'm saying? Like that's not masculine. Masculine to
BL.
me is yo. Listen, I heard this girl talk about Idris Elba one time. This girl I know met Idris Elba, and she was like, "Yo, I smelled that nigga for 20 minutes after he walked past me. That nigga cologne
That's
was
what
so
I heard.
good.
I heard about that actually.
Yo, he's like, yo, his cologne smelled so good that I was looking for that shit in the store. I was like, that's masculine to me. Masculinity is not the nigga who wore the same jeans 3 days in a row. Like, nah, that's not the nigga. You a bum. You just a bum.
No,
I,
it's just dirty anyway.
right. High stress and burnout. They also attribute that to masculinity. I don't think that's masculine. I just think that's somebody who's working too hard. Maybe the trauma response. Maybe it's the fear of lacking.
It's
Maybe
called
they,
being American.
you know what? You won. You won. I have no sense about that.
Called being American. I need a siesta. I need to live in a siesta country, yo.
The last one was prioritizing logic over tuition. Intuition, excuse me. Prioritizing logic over intuition. The thing that pissed me off about that was that I don't think that women should not pursue logic. It's like I don't think that men shouldn't pursue their intuition. I think there should be a fine balance. I think men should be more logical with less intuition. I believe that women should be more intuition, less logic. But not like 80-20, 55-45. Make it close. You know what I'm saying? Women are feel. You guys are nature itself. Thus, you should be able to feel nature a little bit more than me, right? I am the planner. I'm the organizer. I should be able to see things from a certain perspective that you can't, and that's why we come together because you feel. I think those come together. It makes the perfect union, right? I don't think that a woman who has to apply logic to certain situations, it could be it could be her field. She could be in the medical field. If she's in the medical field, she has to apply logic. The math has the math. She can't use her intuition. You know what I mean? She's an accountant.
I feel like intuition is logic we can't explain. It's just knowledge that's not going to be laid out right in front of you.
Yes
It's
and no.
it's hidden knowledge, if you will.
Yet I don't I like how that sounds, but I can't agree with it 100% because a lot of intuition, a lot of people can't discern from spirit speaking to them versus experience that they've had. And experience creates bias. You dig what I'm saying? So oftentimes people's intuition is really just you've been through some bullshit and you're applying that to me.
Love Tom Gordon said, any idea why logic as a trait is assigned to masculinity? I have no idea, girl.
I'm telling you why.
I,
Because men don't feel as much as women do. Women feel
that
more
don't
than
mean we
men.
at a deficit of logic because y'all are a deficit of emotions.
No, absolutely. That's exactly what it means. So because women have a superior emotional state, when a woman's very emotional, if anybody's emotional, not just women, but if anybody's really emotional, you start to lack logic. Simple. It is what it is. When people start the conversation with I feel, you're talking about your feelings. We're not talking about what actually happened. We're talking about how you feel about what happened. It's no less valid, but it isn't. We're not talking about what happened. Remember when we had a conversation a few weeks ago, and I think it was about like men and vulnerability. It's like I don't remember at the top of the conversation, but I remember I played the video. And in that video, it was basically like, um, the video was like, damn, what the fuck did the video say? It had something to do with, um, just because I'm like emotional, like, and I want my emotions to be like validated, doesn't mean that it makes sense. It was something along those lines. So at the end of the day, what happens is women, anybody who's emotional, they start to lack the ability to discern logically.
So
Just is what it
I
is.
just saw a video, and yes, it was a black man saying it, and he said emotions are information. So we're just processing way more information than you are. And yes, you can take things to the extreme. You can, but emotions are information.
But
Just
it's not
because
fact.
it's filtered through my perceptions and my life experience doesn't mean it's not, right?
No, but that's, I think you're making two different arguments, or whoever said that's making two different arguments. I'm not disagreeing that what you're saying is irrelevant. How you feel about the car accident isn't us viewing the car accident. When the police comes to you and say, "What did you see, ma'am?" He's not going to say, "Tell me how you feel." What did you see? What happened? It's two different things. What happened versus what you feel of what happened. I mean, both are relevant. But if we're talking about fact finding, nobody gives a fuck about how you feel. It's the fact. Now, if you
Okay,
want,
I'll give you an example. Stand your ground, right? What
let's say, what?
happened? Someone stand your ground.
Okay,
What happened? Oh, someone came onto my property.
right.
Do they were they aggressive or were they threatening you? No, but I felt unsafe. Bam. I felt unsafe. I have a right to defend myself because I felt threatened, even though this person is smaller than me, younger than me, unarmed. Their presence is threatening. That shit is not, that's a very logical way to look at it. But this is where the y'all leave space for this weird like emotional thing and things that are not supposed to be emotional. Like Tom Gordon said, men aren't any less emotional than women. Y'all just forget that anger is emotion.
That's the next shot. I disagree with that 100%. Um, and I don't think that men or women are more emotional. I said women feel more, and I stand on that. Women feel more than men. I think
I
that's
don't think we feel more. I just think we
oh
instead of like being like,
no
oh, I'm angry. Why are
oh
we angry?
no. Check this out. Check this out. So, especially women that are mothers, women feel more. It's something about a woman that she can feel around her situation and better than a man can. I can't. I wish I had the words to actually describe it.
Is it information that we can't explain?
No, nice try though.
Like the kids are too quiet. This
Right,
nigga is
hard.
cheating.
The kids are too quiet. This nigga cheating. That was
No,
crazy.
I said no. The kids are too quiet, and that
Oh,
nigga cheating. Two
oh, right.
examples.
But I feel like when you become a parent, you become more perceptually aware anyway. I just feel like women, like, all right. So I'm gonna use physiology, right? And one of the when my youngest daughter was born, her mom um breastfed her, and not all my kids are breastfed at some point, but she was the one that was probably like, I don't know. I guess I was the closest to. And when her mom was breastfeeding her, I learned so much about breastfeeding. And the thing that amazed me the most is that if the mom can sense that her child is sick subconsciously. And what happens if the child is sick, the mom innately produces more antibodies in her breast milk to protect the child from getting sicker or whatever the case may be. That means everything to me.
Again, I think this is
But
not
because of
just
that,
like
but hold on. But because of that, I feel like because of things like that, I think women are structured genetically to feel more than men because you have to for the survival of the species. But because we're human and we're more dynamic than, let's say, a rhinoceros intellectually, we that feeling starts to come with a whole bunch of other things. Some ain't right in the house. Some ain't right with my man. Some ain't right with the kids. My mama, da da da. You could go on and on and on, but I think that comes from that genetic ability to be able to look at your kid and say, something ain't right, I gotta fix it. And your
so.
body
I don't think
literally
those are
creating a
feelings.
formula to do it. Say
I don't
what?
think those are feelings. I think what happens is we take in a lot more information I think we're seeing a lot more stuff before we even don't cut me off. Let me talk.
Well, you
I
cut me
think we're
off,
taking in
goddammit.
a lot of information,
So, so
even to the point where we see something's wrong with the baby but can't pinpoint it and can respond on a molecular level to it. But I feel like it's not that I feel like emotions. I feel like we're calling feelings and emotions the same thing. And I feel like in this case, we're not talking about emotions. That's not an emotion. Thinking something's wrong with somebody because you notice a slight change in pattern and behavior that you didn't even notice that you were aware of and you can't pinpoint. That's how I know something's wrong with someone in my family. That's how something is weird about the house because I didn't leave that window open, or whatever. And it doesn't have to be something that's just glaring, but it's certain things you could look at and just know something is wrong. Like
all right, all
okay,
right. Now stop there, stop there, stop
like
there.
the hype
Hold on.
fish. I
Now,
didn't
now,
know what was wrong, but I knew something was wrong.
okay. So now, hold on. Now stop there. You knew something was wrong. Now, what's the next step? Because I can perceive something the same, except for the being the mother thing. I could never mimic that. But what I'm saying to you is, now we both are perceptionally aware of one of the kids, right? Something's going on. How we process that information and how it's perceived in the third dimension is going to be way different from a man and from a woman, innately. How I'm going to go about it is, something ain't right. I think we got to go to the doctor, right? And I might say that. You might go and do more. You might say, I don't like the way it feels, so now I feel the way. Let me see if they, let me touch, see if like, I remember, you know how many times I've said, yo, I think this kid is sick. And then I start to get them ready to go to the doctor or some shit, and I get a call from the kid's mom. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that? No, I just think they're sick. I'm not doing all that extra shit. I seen something. I see a solution to it. Let's go fix that, right? Whereas, I feel like a mom would see the same thing, but how she would process it is different because she feels more. And I'm not just
Do you
talking
know
about emotion.
how
I'm
few
just
men
talking
have
about
your
things.
Do you know how few men have your experience as far as your situation with your child rearing? The fact that you might actually spend more time with your kids than their mom. Um, like I think if you think that way, it's because you're picking up on the patterns because you're sensitive to the amount of information. People who work regular work days and only see their children for 4 to 6 hours at night
It's
don't
sad.
know their children enough to do stuff like that. That's why that time you bond with your baby when they're small is so important. But like I think that you get more. You get more. And I think that's the response that you're supposed to have. You don't have to explain. The fact that you said the baby moms was like, did you do this, this, and this? And you like, no, I think there's something wrong. We're going to take care of it. Is the same sense of urgency I feel I would have as a mom and be like, something's off. I don't like this. Like, and not be able to explain it because it's not a feeling per se. But I just know what I know. Like, because I know my babies, and I think you might know your babies. So, you know,
Well, all
versus
that
some
to
people
say,
like I could safely say my daughter's father does not see as much.
but that goes
I
back
don't,
to the
I don't
original
know if
point.
that's willful. I don't know, like, if that's
No,
part of
but
his
that goes back to the
personality.
original point of some of this is based on the person, not even their circumstance, not how they were raised or anything. It's just some people are just more perceptive than others. Some people, like, I was talking to my daughter about this, and she was just like, kind of mimicking like an effeminate gay man. And I was like, man, I know guys like that who are straight, dead straight. Like, no, I don't, nigga, L, but they're OD feminine. Like, their mannerisms are feminine.
Hmm.
Wives, ex-wives, all that. Baby mamas, all that. You like, wait a minute, hold on, this nigga straight? Yeah. OD straight too. Not like he's like me straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? And bro, like it be like that. So I don't think I think there is a spectrum of femininity and masculinity. I do think
Hmm.
it's a baseline that the average person can't define outside of a normality that society's produced. But I do know that there is something innately in men and women that make men do men things and women do women things. And I think if now I will say this, I do know some heterosexual marriages where the woman is way more masculine than the man. I think in order to have a healthy relationship, there has to be a healthy balance of masculinity and femininity. I
Yeah,
don't
it
care
doesn't matter
if
where
we
the
come
source is coming from.
It gotta be. I
It
seen
gotta be a
really
polarity.
feminized. Yo, if I seen two feminized women be together, it don't work. I seen two masculine niggas be together, it won't work. It got, and it's not like overt. It's not in your face. It's not always this person is acting this way or whatever. Because the masculine women that I'm talking about wear dresses and are dainty and get their nails done. But when you hear the conversation and how it go, I'm like, ooh, shit. I got a family member that got married. When how she asked that nigga to get her a plate of food. I had said to one of my cousins, if that was my girl cousin and that was her husband that asked for a plate of food like that, I probably would have checked the nigga. That's how crazy it was. And I looked at my cousin like that's he's the girl in the relationship. Like shit. But it works for them. It works for
I
them.
hear it. I hear that. I don't like how they be saying cooking, cleaning, and being artistic is inertly feminine. Like
No,
y'all should be able to cook and clean.
it's not feminine. Um
Y'all should be creative.
I feel like it's more left brain. Left brain.
Yeah, left.
Right. Is it left brain or right brain? It's right brain. Because I think in my right mind. So it's more right brain, and most women are more right brain than men. That's where that comes from. So women
I
are
think
more.
all men should be able to cook, clean. If you have
I
kids, you should be
agree.
nurturing.
I don't disagree with that at all. Now you know what? I had this conversation with a dude online a few years ago, and he was
I
like,
think you
"I
should.
don't know, no masculine, no feminine trait." I was like, "Nigga, you got daughters?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Then you have feminine traits, my nigga." Unless you're a bad dad, if you're a good dad, you have feminine traits. You can't be tough with your girls all the time. You got to be soft. If you're a good dad, your girls will make you soft. Fuck that. If you're a good woman, you will make your man soft. Pause. You will make your man a softer man because of your femininity.
Hmm.
And to me, that's the strength of femininity. Able to break down anything no matter what. Because it's so gentle in nature, you can't. So this is a feminine trait that my dad used to do. It doesn't seem feminine, but it is. But it's not like toxic femininity. If I'm on 100,000, my dad would never match my energy. Not even in defense of me. He would always remain ultra calm and then say, "Are you finished yelling?" Yep.
I think that's masculine.
Let's get to it. I think that's also feminine. It could
I
be
think that's
universal
masculine to
because the way I
remain unwavering in the face of your 100,000 is very masculine.
so why I say I don't think it I think it's feminine is I can't say it's not it's one or the other. The reason why I say I think it's feminine is because I can look at a woman with a really 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 strong man and say, "Let him get it out, come back, now let me hug you. It's over, right? All right, we're here now. Now I need you to figure out what we're going to do next." There's nothing more power than calmness. And remember I told you that? I think I told your daughter that. And I said to her, like, we was on the phone, she had something going on. I was like, ignoring somebody is a very powerful thing. Like acting like somebody doesn't exist when they're upset. Oh,
It's not even ignoring. You still had the space to do whatever you had to do. I'm not shaken by it. That's what I think is like it's the level of security and self-esteem to know that in the whirlwind, if you will, in the whirlwind, I am unshakable. So you can go off all you want. And I kind of feel like when you master interacting with people and you're balanced within yourself, that's exactly what it is. It's like, all right, you done? All right, so now what are we going to do about it? What's next? You know, kind of thing. Get it out. Yeah, get it out your system. I think that is very I think well, I think it's very strong and I think it's very balanced and I think it's the most untoxic way to be strong. Is to not fight against it, not try to subdue it. His masculinity didn't have to do with subduing your anger at that time. Um, the concepts of like flowing, you know what I mean? He's not fighting you, he's not resisting you, he's not telling you you're wrong.
Let me ask
It's
you a
skills
question.
that more people need.
What does strong femininity look like to you?
Strong femininity. I think, you know what? I would say I believe it lies in creation. Like literally in like in a mirroring of God's creativity. So people who can raise families, who can grow, who create anything. I think creativity is very strong in that I'm literally, in my God mode. Um, whether you have a green thumb or you have an eye for design or or you're an engineer or like in stuff like that might be not be viewed as feminine, but I think that's a practical application. Um, even though it's male dominated, where I think that level of creativity and ingenuity, understanding, they might make it masculine because of the math and science involved. But I think all creation, to be good at creating, you have to be accurate. You have to be intentional. You have to, all those things come into play. You know what I mean? You can't be like, oh, I'm a creative and it can't have no rules to it. Like, we create people and everything has to work just the way it's supposed to work. Like,
That's that part of the fact. I
so,
think it comes in nurturing, healing, and stillness.
and what?
Stillness.
Oh,
I believe a real feminine woman is very confident, but never shows the confidence, but you can feel it. Can't see it, but you can feel it. Always
I feel like
unwavering.
it relates to your father example.
Huh?
I said I think that relates to your father example.
Right. That's so I see it that way. I feel like women or well, I'm walking away as I'm talking to you. Like I got you on my fucking headphones. Um, I feel like women who are really like in their confident femininity, there's no cat and mouse, there's no arguing. It's, here's what it is that I want. Can you meet it? I'm going to make the space for you to be able to receive me, but I'm not going to lead you to me. I'm just going to clear the path. You got to walk the walk and give you the way. I believe a woman, like when I see women like take care of plants, she has pets, she grows crops. That's femininity to me because that's creating. You're helping life sustain itself. You're growing it. You're making it. You're helping it to live. You're making it thrive. Like when I see those things, I'm like, yeah, that's femininity to me. And again, what did I just say? The warrior in the garden, right?
Mm.
You know what I mean? He has to become. He has to access his feminine side because if you were the warrior, you probably had to do some toxic masculine things in order to remain, in order to be soft at some point, in order for your daughters to be soft, in order for your son to be themselves. You had to do some shit. So guess where you go? You go into the garden and you cultivate and you create. And you got to remember when you're in the garden, you're not just creating life with the plants and whatnot. You're creating the life to sustain others. That's the ultimate femininity to me.
I think it's I think in both these examples there's a strong sense of like balance coming up, and I don't think balance has to do with gender. So yes, you might harvest, um grow, have a farm, harvest vegetables.
Well, food
If I've
never
learned
gender.
anything from plants is that you learn a lot about life from plants, including the death part of plants. Like giving life is one thing, but you receive life from them as well as the energy and the time and the care you put into it. But if I'm a woman and I'm a good cook and I want to nurture my family, I might have to kill a rabbit. You know what I mean? I view being able to do both those things as skill. I don't think like the ability to take life is inherently masculine either.
Hmm.
And I think in history there's been some very fierce female communities who were warriors as well. And I think it's very important Like, what's the point of nurturing and growing all this stuff if you can't protect it? I'm not saying you have to be the sole protector, but to like inherit, to take the need to protect what we have expended all our life energy into, I think that's a bad example of being feminine, like that we're without like violence or like this understanding of life and death and stuff like that. Like I said, I just think these concepts go into a greater sense of balance and cycles and give and take that are universal and therefore without masculine or feminine quality. That's just how I view things.
Yep.
I'm not an expert or anything. Yeah, I don't have to listen to me.
But they came here to listen, so that's what we're doing. So listen, it's curfew time. We'll be back next week. This was a good conversation.
It was.
I feel like we have to go over some of these conversations to figure out what we want to talk about in front of people. I think this is a good one.
We should put a star next to this one.
Yeah, a few of them.
We could break down. We could definitely break this one down more.
Oh, absolutely. This could be its own topic in itself for hours. Hours.
Yes, I agree with Pumpkin. She said, indeed, I think the issue is that when we think of feminine and masculine, we erroneously attach them to the sexes. I agree.
Right. That's what I said before when you were giving your rebut. I was saying that I never said that it was feminine or male or female. I just said femininity. I said what it looks like. I never said who does it, which is why I brought up the warrior in the garden. Because when I said warrior in the garden, people I know subconsciously people instantly thought of a man in the
Yeah,
garden.
absolutely. I did. I'll admit that.
Never said that. Is if you were a warrior, you have to have a garden. Doesn't
Well, the
matter.
actual example is a samurai, and I'm pretty sure women weren't allowed to be samurais.
No, it's multiple ones. The actual there's that one, the warrior in the garden still has a sword, and there is the you better have. It's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war. So it's multiple examples of the same.
Okay.
I guess proverb. Um. So yeah, I think this is a good conversation. I would love to hear other people's stuff about it.
Indeed.
Yeah, we lit. So anyway, yeah, I am tired, boss. Actually, I'm not exactly tired, but I have to have a couple.
No, you're not getting me tired.
Nah, I'm not really tired. I just have to have a few conversations. I know I'm going to be a little heavier than I wanted to be. So let me do that before I go to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your night.
It's been lovely.
Another Wednesday. And thank you guys so much for being on here.
Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next week.